Episode of MD Investor. Today, the very historic day. The Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, ending almost a 50-year Supreme Court precedent. Before Roe v. Wade, all states basically had their own laws regarding abortion. And that's where then it went to the Supreme Court in 1973, and then the Supreme Court affirmed that women had a right to choose, and they had a federal constitutional right, which today is no more. Okay, so today obviously it is no more. We're a financial channel, but obviously when there's big news like this, we have to address it. So it said the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade Friday, which is today, June 24th, holding that there is no longer a federal constitutional right to an abortion. So what does that do? That throws it back to the states. And then there's some states where they've been biting, they've been basically chopping at the bit to get rid of abortion. Going forward, abortion rights will be determined by states unless Congress acts. You see that? Unless Congress acts. The abortion rights will be determined by the states. So it's dependent on where you live, right? And even to put a little financial twist in it, most people have abortion, about 70% of them, most people have abortion for financial reasons. A lot of them have kids already and I can't afford any more children. So that's a big impact, right? And here's the thing too. The states and the politicians, the jurisdictions who are usually against abortion, right, they're pro-life, are the same jurisdiction and politicians who will not lift a finger with prenatal care, with early pre-K education, all the things you're going to need to take care of a child. So they want you to have all these children, but they're not going to lift a finger to help you to take care of them. And we knew this was not a surprise because we knew that it says here in early May, Politico had obtained what it called a draft of a majority opinion written by Justice Samuel Alito that would strike down. So we knew it was coming, right? So it was, and you see how they always sneak it in on Friday, right? At the end of the week, no questions, no comments, right? And let the weekend, let it marinate and simmer in your brain. And then Monday, you think, okay, it's time to go to work. Nothing to see here. Back to business. They always do these things, whether it is a verdict for a controversial court case, or a supreme. It's always on a Friday, okay? Because they want to just let the weekend marinate, and they don't want it to be discussed over the weekend, over the news and cable and so on. So not surprised that they did it, but we kind of had a heads up that this was going to go on, right? So Biden to address the nation on Roe v. Wade being overturned, right? So President Biden is going to address the nation and see, basically just to acknowledge it, right? The thing here about the conservatives, whether you like them or not, you have to respect, is that their single-mindedness, their focus, they have wanted to overturn this for years and decades. And even look at how, look at the hypocrisy. One of the questions they always ask the Supreme Court nominee, the Democratic senator, is usually, do you consider Supreme Court, do you consider Roe v. Wade settled law? Do you consider the law of the land? And the reason why they ask that because that's kind of the litmus test, right? If you're for abortion, the conservative Trump are not going to nominate you. If you're against abortion, Democrats are not going to, so that's the linchpin. Is abortion, that's the big thing. Everything else is like, whatever. But that's the big thing. So, how did we get here? We got here because, remember, Justice, I forgot his name now, but he passed away toward the end of Obama's term, right? It's probably about maybe, 9-10 months, maybe it's probably almost about a year before the election. And the Republicans, I think they had the numbers, majority, and they would not allow his seat to be filled, right? They would not allow his seat to be filled. So for about a year, I guess before the 2016 election, they functioned with 8 justices because they didn't want Obama to get a seat to fill the seat. So that seat, because Trump ended up winning, which would have been Obama's pick, became Trump's pick, right? So I think that might have made it 5-4. Then you had the death of Ruth Bader Ginsburg that gave Trump a second pick, right? And then I know Trump had another pick, and then he picked Kavanaugh. I might have been mistaking the actual rationale. But the bottom line is they got 3 picks, and that switched it now where we are 6 conservative to 3 liberals, right? We know Justice Breyer is going to retire, but that's going to be replaced by Justice Brown Jackson or Jackson Brown. So that's an even switch. So the net neutral. So that's how we got here, right? Liberal justices warn decision will hurt women and impact countless life decisions, right? Because now you got to decide. Now now you can't have abortion. It's going to affect your future decision, right? So now you're going to have 4 kids instead of 3, or 5 kids instead of 3, or whatever, because that option has now been removed from you. And no matter what side you come down on it, no one likes their choice to be taken away. We've all made wrong choices. We've all made bad decisions. But when the choice is removed from you, and now you're limited, and said, no, you're going to do this. This is going to be forced upon you. That's essentially what's going on. And don't think they're going to stop there. Do not for a second think they're going to stop there. Because one of the justices in the majority, her name is, I'm forgetting her name now, but she wants to take a look at birth control pills. They're going to take a look at morning after pills. They're going to take a look at maybe getting tubal ligation. You want tubal ligation as a form of contraception, right? Maybe they don't want, tell your surgeon, hey, don't do that, right? So now you see the lying and the hypocrisy and the fact that it is starting here. It's not going to end here. It's just starting here, okay? And look how quickly the dominoes fall. Texas Attorney General says abortion is now illegal in the state. So, if you live in Dallas, if you live in Houston, abortion is now illegal, and declared June 24th a holiday for his office. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton, in his statement on the Supreme Court decision overturning Roe v. Wade, announced that the statewide closure of his agency's office today. Quote, in honor of the nearly 70 million unborn babies killed in the womb since 1973. Right? Immediate domino effect. Abortion now illegal in Texas. Half of U.S. states could ban abortion as Roe v. Wade is overturned. Right? This map showed certain states that have what they call trigger laws, right? Meaning, as soon as we want to do abortion, but we couldn't since 1973. As soon as Roe v. Wade is overturned, laws are triggered, meaning abortion now back to being illegal, right? So, trigger bans already in place in these states, right? What is it? Idaho, Wyoming, Utah, North Dakota, South Dakota, Missouri, all these states, Texas, Oklahoma, trigger bans are already in place. Banned abortion, these states banned abortion prior to Roe v. Wade, right? So prior to 1973, these states banned abortion. Arizona, Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, West Virginia, right? Past bans or extreme limits on abortion that could be enforced without Roe v. Wade, some of the similar states. And these are states where it's likely to be banned due to the political atmosphere. Florida, Indiana, Nebraska, and Montana. Louisiana Attorney General said the trigger law banning abortion in state is in effect. It is in effect. They were just waiting for the Supreme Court to get the numbers, right? Now, let me add this. let me add this. There was a discussion during the election, I think after Biden won, about quote unquote packing the court, meaning for a long time the Supreme Court has only been 9, right? Packing the court meaning Biden can add more justices instead of making it 9, make it, as long as it's an odd number, make it 17. So if you have 9 liberals, right? You would be, because right now you have six conservatives. So if you make a pack the court and make it 13, and you have 7 liberals, you can kind of overturn it, right? But obviously that's gonna be a fight. That's gonna be a fight to be had. But I get it. Whether you like a conservative or not, they are single-minded. They're focused, and they're goal oriented. They said this is what we want, and if it takes 50 years, that's how you're gonna be. A lot of times the Democrats, they're so relaxed and casual and lackadaisical. Don't worry, you will always have this right to choose. It'll never go away. Guess what? It's gone away, right? Because these guys, look what happened in January 6th. When conservatives are upset and angry, they take action and they storm the Capitol, right? Now your right to abortion is gone. What are you gonna do? So what I'm saying, they take action and we just kind of talk. National Right to Life Convention erupted in cheers when the ruling was announced. They actually succeeded what they've been trying to do for a long time. So these are the justices as we speak. So conservative, Kavanaugh, Alito, Thomas, Roberts, Chief Justice, Gorsuch. Those are the 6. Oh, and Amy Coney Barrett, I believe. 6, conservative. Trump picked her. Trump picked him. And Trump might have picked one, probably Alito. Liberals. Breyer, who's going to retire, is going to be replaced by Brown Jackson, Sotomayor, and I'm drawing a blank on her name. Kagan. So the 5 justices signed into the majority opinion, striking down the landmark decision. Clarence Thomas, Alito, Kavanaugh, Gorsuch, and Amy Coney Barrett. The 3 justices that dissented, Breyer, Sotomayor, and Kagan. Like I said, Chief Justice Roberts did not join the majority, writing in a concurring opinion that he would not have overturned Roe, but instead would have only upheld Mississippi's law banning abortions after 15 weeks. Ruling opens door for reconsidering rights to gay marriage and contraception. I like what the liberal judges wrote. The liberals added, either the math of the majority opinion is hypocrisy, right? Because they're saying there's no constitutional right for a woman to have an abortion, but yet they're saying there's a constitutional right for people to have all these AR-15s and stuff like that, right? So either the math of the majority opinion is hypocrisy, or additional constitutional rights are under threat, meaning the right to privacy, the right for you to have contraception is one or the other. And this is what gets me to. They always ask this question, right? Do you consider Roe v. Wade settled or is the law of the land? And they all answer yes, because they know that if I don't, I will not get the votes. So basically, they lied on the oath. They lied because they did not consider it settled law. They knew that when the time was right, they were going to strike, and that's exactly what they did. Pelosi on Supreme Court ruling. The hypocrisy is raging, but the harm is endless. Governors react to Supreme Court overturning Roe v. Wade. Governor Hochul of New York said today the Supreme Court rolled back the rights of millions of Americans, disregarding their interests and, more importantly, their lives. Access to abortion is a fundamental human right, and it remains safe, accessible, and legal in New York. Texas Governor Greg Abbott, and we just had that that massacre of those children in Uvalde. And all they're doing is covering up, the terrible response of the police down there. But let's see what he says about this. Texas will always fight for the innocent unborn, and I will continue working with the Texas legislature and all Texans to save every child from the ravages of abortion and help our expectant mothers in need. Help our expectant mothers in need. And these are the same states, jurisdictions that are making it more difficult for health care and early pre-K and all the things you need to actually raise a child. But guns, you can have as much AR-15 as you would like. Pelosi states Republicans are plotting a nationwide abortion ban. That's what they want. They want a nationwide abortion ban. And this is so contrary to what the people want. Broad majority of Americans didn't want Roe v. Wade overturned. That's what the poll said before, right? In a May CNN poll conducted immediately after the leak of the Supreme Court's draft opinion, Americans said 66% to 34% that they did not want the Supreme Court to completely overturn this decision, right? But you have 5 men and 1 woman decide to overturn the will of the people. So I like how the liberals closed it. They said, with sorrow. That's how they closed their dissent. With sorrow. For this court, but more, for the many millions of American women who have today lost the fundamental constitutional protection, we dissent. The election coming up in November, I know a lot of times we don't get excited over, unless it's presidential, we don't get excited. Somebody we like, we don't get excited. But you better get excited, right? Because if you have a daughter, if you have a sister, if you're a woman, if you want women to have the option to choose, you better get out there and vote and look at the issues. What's their stance? What's their stance on this? And here's the question. How are they gonna enforce this? Because I even heard something crazy like, if you're traveling to a state, right, on vacation, and you get pregnant during your visit in that state, they're gonna try to charge you, and then they find out later on, 4 months later, you have an abortion. They're gonna call you up and say, well, we found out you were staying here, and the evidence showed that you may have been pregnant while you were in Indiana, and now we heard you had an abortion, so we are gonna charge you with this and that. And even if this is gonna affect poor people more, because if you live in Texas and you know that we can go to New York, you can jump on a plane and go to New York. But if you're poor, you don't have the money, and you may not be able to go. So poor people will be disproportionately affected. Okay, I know this is not our financial normal finance, but this is a big news. Had to get in there. If this is your first time, we normally do finances, but big topics like this, it's a bigger topic. We have to get into it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and leave a comment. Until next time, guys, continue to command your money to grow. But more importantly, make sure you vote MD Investor out.